And we're live. It's Coding with Fire. I'm EJ.
And I'm Ian.
And tonight, I think we're going to talk about the millions of different ways to make a map, I think.
Yeah, yeah. We were discussing various things we're interested in, how our past month went, because EJ took August off, stepped away from the computer for the most part, right?
Totally. And I'm
And
sort of back in action now. I didn't realize there was a holiday until about midway
yeah,
through the day.
yeah. Well, so yeah, we're gonna in talking about that and what I've been up to. As well, we realized that we both have a lot of experience making maps and doing it on the web in a bunch of different ways. And there's things that we still want to map, so we may work on some of those tonight. But also, we could just we want to start off by talking about some of the those things, right? Like you mentioned, you had a QGIS map that
Yeah,
you were trying
man.
to pull up.
Well, the thing I want to see what you were working on while I was in the woods because you were making some California fire maps. Shout outs to California, by the way. Um,
Yeah, it is
it seems like a terrible situation
tough
for
time.
everybody involved.
Yeah, yeah. So we got these wildfires, right, that started midway through August, and a lot of people had to evacuate, and it's really terrible. And then that dumped a bunch of smoke in the air, which apparently has gotten pretty far across the country too. But it's made the air quality here most days pretty bad. And so that got me interested in, well, how do I check it? What do I like? How can I try to see a forecast? Like, I can know the weather is going to be hot tomorrow, which is also a heat wave. But can I also think about what it might be like tomorrow in terms of the smoke in the air and all that? So I got to doing the kind of stuff that we'd usually do on the stream, um, and it was lonely. And I'm so glad you're back, and
Well,
that
I
we can do it
appreciate
with
that.
everybody. Um, and yeah, so I made a few things. First, I'll start with this notebook was the first thing that kind of happened, which I'll put in the chat, which I have open somewhere here. Which is really just me trying to understand like what's out there already. Like, is there already maps? So there was this NASA map that showed like hot spots from their satellite readings. So it's like where the fires are currently happening, or like they took those regularly.
Totally. Sorry, and what you just
Mhm.
described of like that research process, we had talked a bit about talking about like sort of the making a map process, and that to me is like most smart people start there, right? Of like if I'm gonna, and not just maps, but like if I'm gonna make something, let me first go and see at other people who have made that thing before me or things that are similar to that, and sort of gather inspiration and like tips and tricks and things like that from that research, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so this it also helps in terms of, right, like maybe what I want to see is already out there. But often what you find is that like several different things have a piece of what you want to see, and if you could just see it in like a one way together that you have in mind, it would make more sense to you, right? And so knowing that that will probably happen a lot, like I'll find these pieces that I want, keeping track of like what's out there and what the difference is, and then like letting other people, right? Because like I knew that there's these fire boundaries, and somebody has to calculate those somewhere, right? And like how do they do it?
Right.
How do they share if they already share that data and like, oh, I just want to add that as a layer. Maybe that's easy, right? Maybe it's not. Um,
So how
but
are
I
you
ended up
finding these? Like, is this like a Google search or like is this stuff you see floating by on Twitter?
a bit of both. A bit of both. Like I did see some stuff go out on Twitter. I probably learned about Purple Air from Twitter originally, which is it's like a bunch of um, air quality sensors that people have installed. You can just like, I don't know, I think it's like $250 and just put it outside somewhere,
Interesting.
and it's just constantly sending these measurements. So we can see that like these red areas, Sacramento is it's like not good.
That's crazy.
and it changes over, every 10 minutes or hour with the wind, right?
Right, right.
Um, so you start to realize that as you look at this often.
So you can
Um,
sort of infer the smoke cloud, right, from the points that are have the worst or the most red.
yes, yes, that is kind of, yeah, I do think you can think about it like that. And so each of these, for instance, each of these dots is one sensor, and then they have a historical record, so you can see like what the level was.
Mm,
So I learned about that as I was like looking about this and thinking about this, and like originally my focus was on where the fires actually were, right? Like without having a good sense of like, is my house going to burn down, or is like the hills, or like what roads are closed because of this, because they were like evacuation warning.
right.
And then I don't know if you can see it, but like around the Bay Area, there's four fires basically in every direction that you would use to get out, except for like here or something like that.
Right.
Um, so but once you've established where the fires are, and several, there was other links in the we collected here from
That's so
different.
crazy to think about. So you almost want like a Google Maps that incorporates fires.
Yeah, and no shade to the Google Maps team, but if you search for Google Maps for a fire right now, you only get one. And so there's
How
four
do you do it? What does it
fires.
look like? Can you just like how do you do
Uh,
it?
yeah, if I just like I'm here at home and I say like wildfires, something like that. Or actually, no, this was the problem. If you search California wildfires, this search box on, I think on mobile, it like takes you to, or it just tells you about one of the fires. Like this one isn't giving the boundaries
It's
automatically,
so it
but
was only
like,
built to handle one fire at a time. It's not built for
yeah,
the
like the
full on
closest one to
apocalypse.
you, right? But like you can't zoom out easily and say like, oh, okay, there's also this one, that one.
But
I
can you
think one
route
of
find
the
around it? Like you know how there's like a no highways or like no tolls option? Can you be like no wildfires, please?
sort of. I think if you search, let's see, if we were to drive to, I don't know, somewhere Henry W. Coast State Park, right? Google Maps might tell us there's fires along the.
Oh, like it tells you if something's out of business. It's like just a heads up. That route's on fire.
It didn't tell me any of that. I guess. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the issue, right? Is
Well,
like
no,
if
you
you,
see CZU lightning complex fires, and you see what I mean on the left there.
but this whole thing's on
Yeah.
fire, or was on fire.
So if you click on that little fire guy, what's that do?
Gives you this
Okay.
boundary.
So you're like, okay, that's what's on fire. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go north. I'm gonna go to Napa, but it's on fire. So that's the kind of thing. But like then there's maps like this which actually, I think there's some confusion here, but when you get a little closer, it is like, okay, these are the things that are on fire, and these are the names of them, and it had information like how contained it is. So it's like really, it's good to watch this as you get a sense of things progressing.
Yeah, that's a really well designed map.
Yeah. So with that, because one of the things that thinking about a lot was that, yeah, like perimeters of fires. They also have, I think these yellow ones are evacuation warnings. Yeah, evacuation warning, right? So like some areas you really need to know, do I have to go right now or not? Um, so you'd want that information for sure. So then the next question was, okay, basically I know I'm living in Oakland. I'm not going to be like on fire probably in the next week, but I am going to be covered in smoke. And like, do we go outside today or close the windows?
Right.
And so that moved the focus more on like Stamen had made this pretty sweet animation of smoke. This
Whoa.
is like smoke from like 3 years ago though, from wildfires, right? So that gives you a real sense of like how that
Yeah, the wind
air
changes, it just
quality
blows it
happens.
everywhere, right?
Right. It looks kind of like what you would imagine even like a small amount of smoke look like when it gets whipped around from a fire,
Right.
right? But it's huge.
That statement one's
And
really.
so
Do you know
no,
what the tech is behind that? Like, obviously it's particles, but like, is it D3? Is it canvas? Like, it looks like D. It looks like canvas.
it's I believe Alan McConaughey, right, made this, and he tweeted it when I was asking about this stuff. I don't know if he said what it was made out of, but it was, I think it's extracted. So what I found out, and he probably is the one that told me this, is that there's like this website, so a smoke forecast, air fire tools, like has these simulations of, and this particular time period actually didn't show much smoke in our area. Um, it puts out these simulations. It has a, where's the web viewer or something like this, daily smoke forecast. So they actually had, oh,
Does it
viewer
give you like particles or like what?
gives
Gives
you,
you hexes?
yeah, use latest, I guess. You'll see. It's like an image.
I want to make weird
Um,
glowing smoke particles. I got very distracted. I shouldn't. This is a rabbit hole, but I really want to make that. That seems really cool.
so, well, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you're excited. It does, like, it is a very interesting data set. And, right, like, it feels so natural. I mean, it is natural. It's like awe-inspiring. And, and well, so, and that's what happened. I saw this. I was like, this is already, like, I can see this. There's some stuff about, okay, like, I would like to make the time easier to keep track of and, like, I don't know, make it run a little smoother. But
Totally.
um, the other thing I knew, like if I can understand this data, then I could put down like a pin and then say like, what's the air quality going to be like over the course of the next day? And that's what I really wanted to be able to do to start with. Um, so that's what this one does. If you like click on one of these, then it shows where we're at is the blue line. Um, and then like you can see that it forecasted on these hours that there was a lot of smoke at that area. So you could put that on your house or school or whatever and be like, does it look like it's going to get real bad where that is? Because this data is like, it covers all of California.
Interesting. Everybody really likes these hex visualizations. Is that for any particular reason?
Um, I think there may be a reason, but I don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head. I know that I typically want to bin stuff, right? Like that was like when you look at the original purple air map, it's all like jumbled on each other. And so like having a regular grid is convenient
Yeah, I sort of see.
to simplify
I like
things.
this. This seems more like natural or like I don't know, more realistic.
It is. Someone also talked about doing like a voronoi of it as well.
Oh, that would be fucking cool.
We could do that for sure. I mean that would be a good stream thing actually, because like it's easy to get the current time data actually. Like that's not really an issue. Like I went, part of a lot of the work I ended up doing as well was like a data processing pipeline. You run these scripts and it goes through the process of like polling each of those 2,000 sensors or whatever and downloading their last 10 days or
Sick.
whatever. And um, so that eventually gets collapsed down into this hex grid. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's fun. Like we have access to that for sure. And that was kind of, oh yeah, I did a historical, like, so that's looking forward with smoke. but I also did, where's the historical one? What is this one? Looking back on the air quality sensors. So seeing what the air quality had been over the region on the past day. Yeah, so doing all those things, I think, yeah, doing a voronoi of the sensors
Well, take us back to
would
that
be,
notebook that you were looking through with all the. Did we get to the end of it of all the examples? To
I
like,
think it'd be good to, yeah, just like make sure. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't think I ever figured out the escape route thing necessarily. Like,
well,
someone had made a nice visualization about it in a news article, like retroactively, but
Mapbox has some cool routing technology that you can use if you wanted, like, if escape routes another possible outlet. Escape routes, map routing
another
around wildfires in real time.
another crazy thing that I learned about and didn't get a chance to look at, but still, would put out there is a thing I'd like to map eventually, or someone could, is this historical fire risk. This article is like several years old, I think. So like, the first, as wildfires started getting really bad, or in 2018. And so this predicts places at risk, or this is saying these places are at higher risk of fires. But now it's been 2 years and we've had like a lot of fires. Was it right? Or like, where, where did it, because it's the actual records in the actual locations, and this also hex binning it,
That's
but you could
interesting.
figure out where the, fires actually were from the historical fire data in here. Like this data, like when you watch it play out, it like covers an area basically.
Interesting.
So that's, yeah, something else.
So that's all the
And
reference
then,
work you found.
yeah, these are all the references. I guess there's also a point out there's air now, which they only have a few official sensors, so the resolution of it is much. They do some kind of like voronoi as well, but like there's not nearly as many as the purple air, right? So it's much cruder indication.
Yeah, how are
Yeah,
they drawing those boundaries? That's kind of funky.
don't, yeah, don't totally understand. But when you look, there's a map. I found a map somewhere in there of like where the actual sensors are, and there's like 10 points to cover this area.
Hmm.
So it's just not enough data, I think.
So I'm just
Uh,
guessing here, but I bet that you also made something in addition to just finding things. I'm just gonna go out on a limb.
yeah, yeah. So this led me to make the first I did explore the historical data. So I made this notebook here, which plays back. I guess I can play this. Or is it going to load the? Maybe this data takes a minute to load.
Is this what they call big data, Ian?
It's not huge. It's it's mid-size for sure. I mean, because it's actually fires from all over the U.S. But then I filtered it down to like animate the fires happening every day. So I think that's playing down here. Filter everything down. Try different color scales. I think this is the end result. So we can like scrub through.
Sick.
So yeah, but that was like good. That actually got me pretty far in terms of like, I can get California drawn on the screen and the right projection. I can get the satellite data,
Totally.
process it. That all like set me up to work on a few others. Yeah, so this one is like the historical air data, which is the hex bin looking back.
How
in
far? Oh,
time.
but like till like a month or two.
I think it's 10 days.
Oh, really?
Um, wait, let's see. Yeah, like the last time I ran this, and the thing is, like, I could just kick this off as we speak. Maybe I'll try it in a second if it seems like it. But it basically, yeah, it just like downloads all the stuff. If I run the script right now, it will download the last 10 days, and then we could upload it as a CSV file and visualize it. Um, so that and the smoke forecast that I showed were the main things that I built. Oh, but I will, this is interesting. Somebody on Twitter saw it and they're like, hey, Argentina is having like really bad fires right now and like
Hmm.
can't get anybody to pay attention. Could you like repurpose this for that? And I was like, yeah, like NASA, you like click a box and it seems to like send an email and then like 30 minutes later they send you back this export that you request.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's really taking a second to process. Um, then I just changed like the projection and the file name, and it like I just did the same. Yeah,
That's
this is like
wild.
very
Well, Argentina's
very
big,
large,
bro.
and Argentina is big, and I think this is like a lot of rainforest area or something like that.
Lots of fires too.
Um,
Big data.
yeah, so, yeah, it's really punishing me for this one, but see, maybe when it was cached the first time, it worked better, but
Well, you probably also weren't like Skyping and live streaming and all of those things as well.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, so but I thought it was cool that like somebody they forked it and were able to like use that to they're a journalist, I think, or working with journalists.
Yeah, that's super dope.
Yeah, so it's yeah, it's been cool. A bunch of different maps, been helpful. I know some people mentioned that they use like this map to convince somebody that to not like take a particular trip.
That's good.
uh,
Yeah, that's some positive,
and
good force in the world, I think.
yeah, I'd say like that. Yeah, the air quality map has helped me as well decide like, hey, it's time to shut the windows, and so that helped alleviate some anxiety. Doesn't really stop the fires, but um, you learn.
Yeah, no, that's super interesting. I want to go, if it's all right with you. I want to go back to that particle smoke thing that you think Alan made it. That Stamen tweeted out.
I think so. Yeah,
I want to how
I can
I
check
want
it
which
out.
that's I guess that's less about mapping and more about particles and simulation, huh?
Well, the thing is, it's like already been simulated, so you get the
Are you
particles in a
sure?
way. Like,
I feel like there was some extra in there.
I think that they rendered it using Canvas, where you render like a slightly opaque background color over
I
it, so it
agree
leaves
with
these
that. Yeah,
trails.
yeah, yeah. You think that's what made it look
Yeah,
particly?
yeah. I tried experimenting with
You're saying it looks particly because it's literally
images.
particles?
I mean, it is literally particles. Yes, that too. That is a good point. Um, this one I was trying to like have it give me more frames in between forecasts, right? So that it plays slower and it sort of interpolates
I
between.
like that. This is
Um,
cool.
so this is using a slightly different thing than what we just mentioned with the canvas thing, because basically usually it would be like this is every
Do
hour.
the Aaron
So at
Williams thing,
noon
and
one,
instead of hexes, just fill every hex with random amount of dots proportionate to the blackness, right?
that would look cool. That would look cool. Yeah, we could. I think it'd be interesting to set up a version of this that's canvas and like we could pre-render it too, right? Because then you're talking like
Mm.
making each frame really um, look how a certain way. Whereas this one is doing it with Mapbox. So this is done with Mapbox because it's a really nice, convenient way to have like the controls people expect, right? To be able to just zoom and pan and like click on something and say, I'm interested in this one or this one. And but yeah, if we really want to like go all out with choosing how we want it to look, like render it particularly, um, try Canvas.
I wonder, I'm sort of going back to the stream we did last night where we had just gotten it to a point where we could add stuff. Like, I'm curious. I want to make a map tonight, I think. I'm not sure of what, and I'm not sure for what. You know what I mean? But maybe I like a couple of ideas that have come up of like I like the idea of like getting using Mapbox to like figure out an escape route, right? So if I put a pin down for where I am and where I want to go, find me a route that doesn't touch any like wildfire boundaries, right? Which I think like Mapbox is built has ways to handle like I've only ever read the advertisements in the marketing, but it's for like, I mean, like if you're a shipping company and you want to hit this place and that place and this place, it like optimizes the routing for you. So you're basically doing that in reverse.
Hmm. Yeah, like making it not. Yeah, okay.
So that's like,
So you're saying like a potential thing to build um, on top of one of the things we've already made.
yeah, well, and then the added, put some fucking Firebase olive oil on it, right? Once you make an escape route, you can save it and share it, right? And like make that map viewable to other people. And it, just give it like a random code or
Yeah.
something, like a share URL.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be pretty powerful.
And just make it really easy to print, or like, you know what I mean, like give it like a really easy to understand layout.
Yeah, I'm with that. I ended up, yeah, I just did like Google Maps directions routes and I moved the pin and like printed that out.
Yeah.
Um, right, like looking at one of these other maps. So it's like certainly way less than
Well, let's
ideal.
see. I want to look at because I'm maybe I was making things up, but let's go look at the Mapbox offerings around the idea of routing.
You pulling it up right now?
Yeah, navigation they call it. Mapbox provides powerful routing engines, accurate traffic-powered travel times, and intuitive turn-by-turn directions to help you build engaging experiences. So, like, I want to do it now. Directions API? I think that's what we want.
Is that something you can just
Yeah,
use?
I'll just drop it in the chat. So it's some. I don't know how it works. So you're driving. There's like, you can do driving, walking, cycling, or whatever. Oh, here we go. And it has an exclude. Oh, no, that's for types. Huh.
Yeah, so I've also actually, I once worked on a project um, where we used there's like PG routing or something like that. It's like a PostgreSQL plugin that gives you geospatial route, like um, it lets you do that, like determine routes in a node, like a road network or
But
like
it's open
this,
source.
and it's open source. So it's not like as
That sounds chill to me. I'd
sophisticated as
rather
a.
not use like an API. I'd rather use like a thing.
Yeah, it was interesting. We got it to like compute horse and buggy time and like um, walking direction. Like basically, it was a project on London, and it was like, but you're looking at historical maps that have been like, corrected to proportions. And so you could say like in 1700s London, how long did it take to get from like here to there? Um, oh, we have someone in the chat.
I was just reading
Hello.
that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say hell on earth is. You can. What do you think?
Hell on earth is nice. That's yeah. Would wind direction be worth taking note of to help predict the path of fire? I bet it would be. That's something I've been curious about actually. Is like, because when you said the particle simulation, right? It's like the wind. If you knew the wind direction and you knew where the fire's coming from, then you could predict. Like I think that's what the model does. Like predicts how much smoke is coming from the fire, and then it probably pushes it with the wind.
Is there a data source
So
for like wind direction? Like,
probably. Land-based station data.
I love those purple links in that Google search. And what would it be like? It would be
FTP access.
Jesus. It would be like points. Like I want like latitudes and longitudes that tell me what direction in like a 360-degree that the wind is blowing at any point in time, right? Do you think the data is shaped like that in the way I just dreamed?
Probably not.
Probably not, huh?
I don't. Yeah, it's probably like shape files and
Yeah, that sounds right.
tiles or something like that. I don't even know how to see. Is there just like a in situ? What is that?
Is there like a wind direction? Well, wasn't there a really cool wind direction visualization?
Yes.
Did Fathom make that? Who made that? Wind map?
I've seen a couple. Yeah, I think wind map was it Martin Weinberg and
Point B Studio. A production of Hint FM. But yeah, this is I guess it's live. So they're where surface wind data comes from National Digital Forecast Database. I'll drop this in the chat. Oh, it's fucking 404s. All right, well that's great. But it's a cool map though.
There's this one. I'm trying to see where they get their wind data from. File attachment.
What is reflectivity and pyrep? What's a pyrep?
I do not know. I've been trying to like read. There's not a lot of description of, but there's visualizations. So yeah, it looks like this is useful data, but it's not clear where exactly it's coming from and why it's...
So to expand on this idea, so if we're making an app that makes it like an escape path router, right? If you know where the existing wildfires are and you know where the wind is going, you also want to avoid like what? Like a 5 miles additionally beyond the boundary of the wildfire in the direction the wind is going, right? To be safe. That'd be a safe way to... That's what I would do personally.
Yeah. But I guess, yeah, that's something. It's interesting, like the routing app or the emergency app. Yeah, how much information do you want? Like contextual information is helpful versus overwhelming, and that's that balance. Yeah, you kind of need to play with it, I think, right? Because like maybe a subtle wind. Because even I like this LA Times one, but someone else they point out these like wavy smoke things. They didn't like that, and that it was like more distracting. I feel that actually the hexagons at this level are confusing because I also still see the other stuff, maybe. So, it's still like a great map, but there's things like that where okay, I think the simplified version of this, if you even just like colored these boundaries more solid, more like Google Maps does, and had those aware.
And you have all the data sources that the LA Times is basically working with here, right? Like you've basically brought those in individually in different places in your notebooks.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the exact same ones, but I did. I got a good number of these in the notebooks. Yeah, I don't think I ever loaded the polygons, like these boundaries, because I think sites like these are pulling those together, but I haven't found a place that's like publishing them together. Like they pull them from the different
I
local
think
governments.
you're stuck with that. That's how it is with all the COVID data too. It's all like we're lucky that there's researchers and academics who are pulling that stuff together, but for other things like I don't know. I guess are there wildfire academics?
Yes, I think that's who made these. This, for example.
Got
So,
it.
like, if you look at, there's like a lot of options here in terms of,
Whoa.
I think these. So they actually make models for firefighters, I believe, in particular regions. So like they like zoom in and like
Oh, they legit
tune
use this to
whatever they're
go to
doing.
the field. That's wild.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is. I'm not sure if this view is particularly like there's this other, production runs and like you can get these different.
Yeah, and share this run. So what is it? What does it mean? Like, what does that behavior look like?
Just gives you the link, I think. So what it does is it has a model. The model runs every 12 hours, I think, and it predicts the next 72 hours. And so you can like go back in time. So this is the 7th, was this morning. And if you did 6, like it would still probably, I need to do it here. If I change this to September 6th, it would probably run, like show me a different data set.
Interesting.
And so that's from like the 6th and for the next 3 days. So yeah, like that, it obviously looks like they're taking wind into account and how it's going to get spread around.
That's really cool. So we have
So
we
yeah,
have
just like,
9 minutes until it's 9 o'clock my time. I have two suggestions. The first is that we take a little short, like 5 or 10 minute break at 9 o'clock, and the second is that when we come back, we focus on building our escape route thing. And so in order to do that, I want to measure twice, cut once. So do you want to figure out what a I guess we have 2 hours left. What a 2 hour version of the escape route app might look like, and is it an observable? Is it in a view app in Firebase? Like, is that even a good idea? What do you think?
um, well, my concern is that the PG routing experience I had is much longer than 2 hours.
Mm.
And I fear that the Mapbox one may not be exactly, I don't know, it may be that we can like do that, like give it certain obstacles, but it's like an open question, right? So because like the way I would think about it, whether it's 2 hours or not, would be I want to be able to route, like the number one thing that has to work is like choosing 2 points and saying, what's the quickest way to get between these two without intersecting these like polygons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so one way you could do that is the way that the routing thing works is that basically you load in something like OpenStreetMap that has all the roads, and you can say like, highways and these roads, that
That's
roads.
cool.
And so those, yeah, and those make a graph. It's like these intersections become nodes in the graph, and then the streets are the links,
Do you
and
think
then it runs
QGIS
a
can do that? Because we could hack it,
QGIS
right?
may,
Like
yeah,
we could make the whole tool minus the routing, right? And I could just generate one route in QGIS data, and we could leave that for another stream potentially, right? So to make
yeah,
it,
yeah. So I do think, and I wonder, like, it's totally possible that QGIS like has routing built in because
no, it's just PG routing again.
yeah, yeah.
Great.
So that is probably the way I would prototype um, this app out, though, is exactly that. Like, well, this is cool. Like, they give you the data, and then um, you can see, though, there's quite a few steps involved. But eventually there's these nodes and these routes, and then it's gonna, I don't know what they're doing, but here's a start, here's an end. And you can imagine if you had like a box here, polygon, that if any road hit that, you would
Oh,
cut it off
awesome.
there.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. And that's like a QGIS plugin that you're looking at right now? Or that's
Yeah,
built
like if
in?
it looks like if you, because QGIS can like connect to Postgres. So if you had Postgres and PostGIS and PG routing set up, which I think you would just, brew install or whatever you do, right? Like then that would be your backend for this. Like you would load your street data in there and your polygons of your boundaries in there, and then you could use it as an interface to do it.
Hmm.
Ultimately,
Do you know, does it
if
say
I
what
was
it
building that,
exports as? Like what, can you get like a JSON? What is that? I guess a polyline that represents the route?
if I remember correctly, it gave back, yeah, polyline, which is like you could get it as GeoJSON, or it might also, I don't know if it included the line segments because oftentimes like the actual network to do this on is a bit too big to fit the browser probably. Like when I took London, so if you took the Bay Area, for instance, and you were like the greater Bay Area because you want where all these fires are happening, that would be a sizable uh, database to do the routing over. So it was funny too because this project, like, that was like the routing was a key thing that the client wanted, and like a lot of people didn't want to deal with it. So I will actually suggest that we think of a different application to go with, because although it would be very helpful, routing is a intense problem, but like even like with the algorithm already solved. So
How on earth is
we
dropped
can
a
think,
link in chat to the wind prospector? Is that wind data?
oh,
It's not
okay,
loading
I'm
for
pulling it
me.
up too.
Oh, here we go. Ooh,
Yeah,
what's this
Western
stuff?
wind data set. Let's see. You have land-based wind speed. What are the colors that?
Yeah, the colors are pretty wild.
I'm sure they're meaningful of something.
Does each dot tell me the direction? Capacity
Wind.
factor? That's cool. Oh, that's sick. Offshore wind speed's awesome. It's a beautiful little thing it makes.
Offshore wind speed.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Land-based wind speed. This is fun.
there's a download data.
Should we download land-based wind speed? Due to licensing restrictions, these data are unavailable for download. I can't even get the data, and they said these data. It's two strikes.
Wind resource data download point. Download source data from the wind integration toolkit, Western Wind Data Center, Eastern.
Why are they mocking me by having a download button that doesn't let me download it? Oh, off.
Where's this
They said offshore for all the yachts. That makes sense.
point and box? Okay, I'll have to choose one.
Are you drawing a
So
bounding
once I
box of
click
wind
it,
data you want?
oh, I don't, oh, data download. Okay, but hang on. Is that what the box is? Click and drag to draw a rectangle. Yeah, so I guess I want like,
Wait, so what are we gonna build? We have 1 more minute left before our short break.
oh yeah, I got
Yeah,
distracted. More
what are
data.
we gonna build when we get back?
So I think that it would be cool because, yeah, there's so many different things we talk about, so many different ways to tackle this. We could go to the database, we go to QGIS, we can do stuff in the browser. I think if we take, well, I propose that we say, we come back from this 5 minute break.
Okay.
We take the real-time air sensor data from Purple Air that, that's already been prepared in Notebook. Like it's easy to read, to start with that.
Got it.
And we do some stuff with that first.
That
So we
wait,
say that's
purple
like,
air is the present or the past?
the current air quality, because we could do the voronoi.
Is it live? Like the API just gives it to you in real time, so it's like live air quality data.
Yeah, it's just like exactly what it is. Then I say that's like a warm up, right? Like let's slap a voronoi on it, right? Like it's interesting because it's gonna show something else, but also um, it's going to like get us talking about coordinates and projections, and like when you're drawing extra stuff on top of a map and like making sure it's in the right place, right? It's like a good warm up, like really get into that. And then I would propose we look at wind data, because I don't know much about wind data and I've been curious about it, and so I don't know like how much can we use it to predict stuff or be aware of stuff, but let's look at it, right? And so I see if we can, like in the 5 minutes, I'll kick off a download, and we can all take a look at that data together, try to understand it, and then if we can draw like little particle trails that follow the wind, or like overlay that on the
Ooh,
with
particles.
the air
That's
quality.
all I want from this.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we could just get.
let's see if we can figure out some particles on the wind, and then like if we have the smoke, if we want to remix in other data, we can see if we like can get there.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good enough time. So, all right, so we're gonna do a little quick 5 minute break, five to 7 minute break. I might come back at a rounded out time. I might come back at 9:10 if I'm gonna be real honest with everybody. But
So it's 8 minutes. Yeah.
when we come back, as you just said, we'll do a little warm up. We'll pull in the purple data. We'll, as you said, slap a voronoi on it, and then we can look into this wind data and maybe make some particle stuff, or some canvas particle stuff. So we'll be right back, everybody. Stay tuned. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah. See you in a second.
And we're back. We're live again. It's me, EJ. I almost said Ian again. I did that last stream. I'm EJ.
And I'm Ian.
Yeah. And tonight we're making some maps on Coding with Fire. It's real exciting. I read on Twitter you're gonna slap a voronoi on a map, and I can't wait to see it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the map in question looks like this right now. So this one's just a bunch of dots.
Dots.
It's dots on a
Boo.
map. Something. Yeah, I know, right? And it's zoomed a little bit out. You see, like this is SF, Oakland Bay. So a lot of sensors.
And your data source is purple mattresses.
Purple air. So yeah, let me put this in the chat. I did tweet it. Because we're basically just directly querying the data, and I have had it to where it like just errors out, like it doesn't, maybe it's too busy and it's like I'm not gonna send it to you. So if I was building something on this, it would cache it or something. I don't know.
Cool.
But like for exploration, it should work. If it doesn't return a result, you just run the cell. Yeah, you run the cell again, and like it should be fine.
All right. And what do you get back? So we're looking at a bunch of little air stations.
List. Basically, every one of these is an air station. Yes.
I just made that word up.
It's like a sensor or a bunch of sensors, and the thing that we care about at the moment is PM1. So that number represents like the particles, the big particles.
Parts
like
per million?
Something like that, yeah.
What does PM1 stand for? Just a forever mystery?
No, you just click on one of these. Or no, I think it says here what the layer... It's this, even though the variable name is PM1, it's PM2.5, AQI. It's used by government agencies to communicate to the public how polluted the air currently is or how polluted it is forecast to become.
Okay. It's just an index.
So I think there's
called PM2, but in our data called PM1. Got it. It's totally straightforward stuff.
Totally straightforward, because there's also a raw PM1 in micrograms per meter cube.
Oh, of course. That's what I'm most familiar with. I like all of my data to be in micrograms per square Q.
Yeah. So anyway, we can use this number, and it's generally accepted to be, if it's red here, it's bad. If it's 100 plus, it's not.
Got it. We have a number where the higher it gets, the worse it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here, you get a little mouse over. So 200 to 300, health alert. Everyone may experience serious health effects. So yeah, down here, you shouldn't probably shouldn't go jogging, but it's not that as bad.
Wait, so 0 is green, 50 is yellow, 100 is orange, 150 is red, and beyond that, super red. So red.
Yeah, just stays that red. And so I did, I re-implemented that color scale in here somewhere, which I could show. It's PM1. It's this one. It's really, it's basically 0 to 50 green, 50 yellow.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And yeah, exactly. That's what it looks like. Yeah. So once you can do that, you can look at any given station, decide what color it should be or what color its voronoi should be. So.
All right. So we already made this map where it's points, and we just need to throw a voronoi on there.
Yeah. Let's just take a quick look at some of this stuff. You can ignore because I was trying to understand historic data, which can be interesting, but for now we don't care about. So really, we just have a list of what do I call them? Air. and then the projections was going to turn our lat long point into XY to draw it, right? And for some reason I was playing with multiple projections, but
I'm really sorry to tell you. I think you got to make a new notebook and start from scratch and steal the parts from this that you need for.
okay, okay,
Because there's a,
let's do that.
I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, buddy. It's a lot.
All right, let's get just what we need. Make it easy. So I'll just take this and make a new notebook. That's more in line with what we do usually as well, right? Is like make a notebook
Make a notebook, take a notebook.
on the stream. Yeah, like um. So
That's also, I forget, was it, who said it? Neil Stevenson said the best hackers are the ones who can just find the code they already wrote. So at a certain point, you're not really writing new code. You're just sort of finding the solutions you already created more quickly than other people.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we got our sensors. We have D3. I still think, yeah, we should get our projection and make a simple dot map. So I think I do want to pull over a couple of things just like to make that simpler.
Can you drop that notebook in the chat that you're working on? The new one?
The one. Yeah. Publish.
Sick. Now we're talking.
Yes, sir. All right.
Finding
And
the
so
spare wheel instead of reinventing the wheel. That's correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna scroll past. I forgot how much crap I didn't hear. Really, there's some simpler things at the bottom here. Like we're gonna want the US. Oops, I'm trying to copy this. So this gives us some boundaries for the United States as topo JSON, I believe.
Cool.
So I'm gonna need to pull in topo JSON's right here. Topo JSON. Computer's not happy with me again. I hope that's.
It's all right. It's just your state is very hot and filled with smoke right now, and both computers and humans are unhappy about it.
Yeah, no. We do our best to cope with the situation. All right, so I have topo JSON. I have the United States. Here my data. Oh, that's the order things need to go. So I want to take out of the United States. I want a couple of things. I want California, probably, and I'm gonna want the Bay Area, right?
Yeah.
So the way I did this is actually do a couple of things.
So you're arranging all your ingredients. So you're pulling in, okay, this is the data.
Yeah.
This is the data we're gonna map. This is the data that represents the boundaries of what we're gonna map. And then you're talking even more specifically, like just pulling in just California and the Bay.
Yeah, it's almost like, yeah, these are the topo JSON in the US. Those are like the pans and the stuff that we're gonna like pull out, and then we're gonna say, okay, these are the particular things we're gonna do to make this meal, like to make this map. We just want, we need to know, need to be able to say where we are, right? Say like, I want to be zoomed into like these counties, or I want to draw just California's state boundaries, and then I'm going to draw these points, and then I'm going to draw this voronoi on top of it, right? Like, so yeah.
So
right
you're not
now,
even cooking yet. You're still setting up your ingredients, right?
I would say that this is like, yeah, like chopping carrots or something, because
we'll call this slicing and dicing. I'm gonna put the progress bar back on.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, you want to have these things ready before you like start trying to put something on the screen is kind of um, what I've found now. Like you can, or we could go ahead and make the canvas an empty canvas, right? But like the in my mind, drawing California because it's something that I've done many times, right? Is kind of like the way to assure myself that I'm able to draw maps, right? Like I just start, you know,
You're like, I know what
and then
California
once I
looks
see it on
like.
the screen, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong in between that, right?
Right.
Like there's a lot of weird ways, and we run into them all the time. Probably see some tonight, but um, yeah, in general, that's how I see it.
So you
So
make maps of California the way a chef like makes eggs, like just to get the basics done, just to make sure all the heat is right and the pans are right.
I like that. The states by name. So one thing I like doing is using JavaScript mat. So like I'm basically pulling out each state GeoJSON thingy. So like, you know, whatever came in the states and the US data, you can look at that. Let's not even look right now.
Okay.
The whole point is that as long as we have that, it's in that format. We know it's a GeoJSON because we pulled it out with this TopoJSON thing. Um, it's a feature. We can get it by state, or sorry, by name.
Hmm.
So down here, California is states by name, get California, and then it's just like now I have the boundaries of California.
Nice. And the boundary geometry, a multi-polygon is just a list of latitudes and longitudes that make up the line, basically.
Yeah, you click all the way down, you're just gonna get latitude, longitude. It's like different ways of organizing them, and
But then you have
yeah,
to then comes projection, right? Because latitudes and longitudes don't necessarily help you make a map. You need to turn those into screen pixels.
X, Y, yeah, X, Y points exactly. So that's where you know, I could start here. I could say like my projection, and there's a lot of projections, um, and there's many different reasons to use different projections. But to start with, you know, first of all, the one that like Google Maps and all those things uses Mercator,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can always do that.
Isn't there like
But
there's
there's
like a million like can't
Mhm.
you let's go look at all of them. Take me to the visualization gallery,
Hmm,
please. The projection gallery. What's the one in vogue now in
of
2020?
course, yeah. Let's just search for projection. T3 projection.
There've been a bunch of cool ones. I remember one that like transitioned between all of them. Is that this one? The one you just clicked on?
Probably this
Because
one.
it's
That
pretty
is,
fucking
that's what the title
magical.
says.
Yeah, this stuff. Yeah, so these are all
Yeah,
just different options that you can get, I guess, of ways to turn like the latitudes and longitudes of California into something that shows on a screen, I guess.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like, you know, as a globe. How do you flatten the globe onto onto a table? If you just cut it, right? Like it's not going to fit, right? Or like you have to stretch some parts and crunch down some parts or whatever. Like that's what all projections end up doing. So it's about choosing what gets distorted and how
So
bad.
can you show Mercator? Like, can you make it stop doing this?
Uh, yeah, probably. Can I? No,
Nope.
maybe not. This is. I saw when I searched for
Is there a
projections,
fork that word that lets you stop it?
there's projection
Oh,
comparison.
sick! Even cooler. This is even better. Yeah, so show Mercator and Albers, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mercator.
So that's what Google Maps and like most web mapping sites use, right?
Yeah. So the red one is Mercator. It's like, you know, Antarctica is huge, Greenland is huge.
Yeah, anything on the
Uh,
top or bottom is exaggerated because it's made for people It's made for ship navigation, right? For like literally between
Yeah. What am I? Where's the
Albers. Is there
Albers?
not an Albers in this one? That's kind of weird. What's Albers based on? I'll look. Albers USA projection.
I would swear it should be in this list.
It's a conic equal area.
Oh, here. Conic equal area. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And but so it's Albers USA is this plus rotation.
Zoomed in on, yeah, like rotated and maybe zoomed in. But like, yeah, you can see that if you as you rotate it, it doesn't change how much area things represent, I think.
Right.
That would be something we could actually look at.
Let's not get, so anyway, you were gonna. I took us down this rabbit hole. You were just gonna make an Albers USA map like a cool person.
Yeah, but this is exactly the kind of stuff that like comes up, or that even the one of the benefits of using D3 to do this kind of visualization is that like you can easily choose and customize that stuff.
Right.
So it's So Geo Albers USA. And then there's this fit size, I think, where you give it the width and height you want, but then you give it a GeoJSON, and it just like magically zooms to that GeoJSON's bounding box.
That's cool.
So
you just
I
give
want
it
that,
California.
so I didn't set up a height, but I'll say it's like 500 or something.
Cool.
So now this should be able to give us, like this is a function that gives us an XY. So I don't know, I think there's a lat long right here. And I should just be able to say projection. And one funny thing is that it's almost always forget which comes first.
It's weird. I don't see your changes right now. Are we not a team anymore?
We should be a team, yeah.
All right, I see them now.
It doesn't.
I'm getting 429s.
Well, I just published. Are you logged in?
I don't know. Yeah, man, I'm logged in. What kind of question is that? Hell on Earth is asks, jumping between the different map types is easy, and yes, like that's like once I was actually just thinking that once we get our smoke data going, that it might be worthwhile to go back to the projection side and see if there are projections that better tell that story. Like for example, like even just turning it 90 degrees might be a more useful map. I mean, that's not how people generally look at or think of California, but if that's how, like, if you just orient the map to the way the smoke goes, then I think that might make more sense. Like, there's a lot of leeway to try different things there.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make a canvas. And then I want to draw California on it. And so, first of all, before I draw anything, I gotta have a context. Is it 2D? And then I always fill a rectangle somewhere on the screen. Okay, I can draw.
Sick.
And yeah, so one thing you can do is fill the width and the height with a given color. Oops.
Okay.
So
make it red.
We can.
Woohoo!
About.
All right.
Well, yeah. So we can fill up the screen, but we want to fill it up with, but it's good. It gives us a sense of like what the area of the map will be, right?
Yeah, draw me some map lines.
Yeah. So to do that, we need to turn our California into a path, and so there's actually geopath, and you just give it your projection, and then you say begin. What is it? Begin path or something?
I don't know, man. I've never done this in
I always do
Canvas.
this.
The SVG way, you like make your D thing, and you just make a line that follows that. The Canvas way sounds interesting.
Here, I do it here. It's. Do I do it here? Begin path. I was right. Yeah, it's just that. So yeah, I kind of jumped to Canvas, I guess. We could do it with SVG. Something tells me though, if we want to get into particles and that kind of stuff
No, you're
in the
right. No, I
next
don't want to do
section,
an SVG. I'm just saying
it's like
that's why I don't know what the command is. I was just explaining my ignorance.
yeah. So you can do this. You can do context CTX. You pass like so. This if you didn't have this path would be it would generate SVG paths for you, and if you add this, it makes canvas paths.
Sick.
And I think if we said CTX dot stroke style equals
Red. Okay. Fine.
red.
No, it can be black.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
that's California. That's the California I know and love. I could recognize it anywhere.
Absolutely. Right. So now we're working with what we know, and we have our projection, so we can turn our data into points. And that's what I also love about Canvas is this is still going to be fast. So if I say air, or like, I think I can do this now, sensor of air, I think. And I'm going to say let P equal projection air lat. Check the data. What was it? Capital lats, capital long. So I think we want long lats. I always forget.
I always forget too. I think it's long lats. Longitudes and latitudes.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I tattooed on myself the incorrect mnemonic device to remember X and Y? And then at then on learned what it was correctly by remembering that my tattoo was wrong.
Nice. That'll definitely do it for you.
Don't purchase tattoo guns as a teenager is my suggestion. Or do. It's all right. It taught me something.
You do know. I don't know why. So I've noticed sometimes. Okay. I need to. No, you always want red. Okay, so we drew.
Holy shit!
Stations.
Fucking 0 to 60, bro.
Yeah, I don't know why I need this. I'm going to talk about this if it doesn't. Yeah. Sometimes I've noticed if you pass a latitude and a longitude that is not in the boundaries of the projection, instead of returning like 0, 0, it returns like an empty array. And so here I'm setting X and Y as of my rectangle. I'm just drawing a single rectangle, 1 pixel for every sensor.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, somehow some of these, the projection is not.
Are you saying this is why there's red dots outside of the state of California?
Yeah, outside of the state of Kansas, there must be some that are even going to be drawn further away. So I just logged out a bunch of these where it looks like. So okay, if they're null, they're not. That's not good too. So I could probably like filter my data. Right, to like make sure that these are never null before I try to project them.
Basic data cleaning. Got to take the bad fruit out of the bunch before you cook it, or vegetable would have been a better example. You don't cook fruit, but the metaphor stands, I believe.
Uh, didn't like
So
that.
you're basically saying for every sensor that we get, if its latitude or longitude are 0 or null, we don't even want to deal with them anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
With
Um,
some magic, I didn't know you could filter in a let of what the fuck kind of magic
well,
is that?
it's just like when you filter something, it's returning an array. So this just becomes an array that the for loop is looping over.
I
So
understand
probably,
it now, but I'd never thought to do it. It's pretty sick.
yeah.
No,
Let
don't do it my way. My way's lame.
Well, it's
That
it'll
way's
be more
gangster. This is what
explicit.
happens when you work with boss stock. You start writing shit like this, I guess.
It does. It rubs off on you a little bit, yeah. Um, well, yeah, when you get things nice and compact and tidy, there's a satisfaction to it. But
All right.
no. Anyway, so we have the points, we have the map, we know the projection. We could play with the projection, like you mentioned, right?
No,
So
but
like,
Ian, tell me why there's dots outside of California. It's distressing to me. I like that
oh
none of them are in the ocean, which leads me to believe it's not the projection. Do you think that these people just included non-California sensors to like tell the story of
yeah.
California better?
Oh, I think that this is like a project where it could be anywhere. Um,
Oh, word?
I'm not sure. Maybe this is like refresh. I'm not 100% sure, but basically the query that I'm doing is giving me back that like some number of sensors. I didn't think there was a guarantee that it's going to be in California.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to. I was just wondering. It could either be a data thing or a projection thing, right? But
You
it
are
seems like it
correct.
seems like it's a data thing.
Yeah, so like there's sensors all over the place,
Oh yeah,
right?
look at
So
them.
I think people anywhere can have these.
Yeah, even I saw some in Mexico, which is pretty rad. Like you can sort of see the
Yeah,
smoke travel.
hold on, make them big highways. Yeah, so I might have to, I would have to refresh to keep exploring, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's what we're seeing here is that we got some that fall outside of
All right,
California.
so you've drawn California, you've drawn some red dots, and now personally for me, I would like you to slap a voronoi on it.
Okay, I'm down to do that. Did you want to see it as a different projection real quick?
I mean, unless anybody in the chat has any suggestions for projections, I'm kind of agnostic. Mercator, all right. Should I
I
go?
was just
Should,
quickly
should,
showing the difference.
should I look at the projections real quick and try? You know what I really want to do? Can I make a request? Can you flip California 90 degrees for me to the left so that no NorCal is on the left side and SoCal is on the right side?
Um, so like, okay, yeah, I think you can just rotate, and I can't remember if it's
You're rotating the canvas, not the
degrees.
projection. You fucking
Yeah.
come on now.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I guess it's allowed.
Oh, but I probably have to.
What? What's all this now?
I'm, I'm trying to like. So did I rotate it the wrong way?
No, that's you did, yeah. But what does this translate with? What's this do?
Oh,
Is this Euclidean math again?
no, this is like that's just moving the canvas around. So if I change this to like
Uh, this is why
one,
this is why I should be in the projection.
but how? Let's see. Then I have to look up if.
You can rotate things in D3 projection, I think.
But is it going to be the rotate that you think it is?
Hell on Earth, it says, is rotate not happening at the center of the map? And that's exactly right. Where is rotate happening from?
The top left corner. When I do it, my
Oh,
like.
right. Yeah, and you know what'd be
So we can
fucking
figure that out. But let
sick?
me
As
see.
if you'd use your overhead camera to explain to me what the hell is happening. You want to take it up a whole nother level.
Oh man. Um, rotate is not a function.
You're just making stuff up. I think you can translate though. Can you put a rotate in your translate?
Angle. Let's see.
Angle.
All right, so I'm just using the wrong word. I made up the wrong word.
It says that it should do it your way though. It says it may be faster to rotate during rendering using context rotate rather than during projection.
Oh.
Yeah. Basically, Bostock writing EJ's idea is stupid in the past.
Well, it's not. I do see how it's more like, that if we're going to process some data, we should and that's already doing some processing. Like you would just to do a little bit more in that part makes more sense than saying, hey, I'm just going to flip the whole piece of paper around and draw it differently.
Right.
But did it say anything? Because if I think about moving, I guess I could switch. I don't know. If you're thinking about just rotating this to the right, Is that as my mouse is going?
No. Counter.
You want to go this way? So you
Yeah.
want the straight part, the straight edges to be on top?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's going back like that. So we want to rotate from the center, I guess, of the projection and have it. So I think the way you do is you translate corner to be here, it's going to rotate, and then you move it back. And I confuse myself with this. So if I just move it, it moves it down there.
Okay.
And then I rotate it.
This is great.
So let me try this also.
And then you move it back.
Okay, so I think it's in radians.
God damn it.
Maybe it's totally not. I don't know. It's 10 degrees is there. 20. It's gone.
Huh.
40, it's all the way down there. So I do think it's... Okay, let's just look this up. Canvas.
Yes. How do you rotate things in Canvas? I guaranteed radians are involved.
All right, yeah, it says times math. Yeah.
Who made this?
Trigonometry.
This is the 19th time that this has come up. Who made that API and why does it use radians for everything? It makes everything so complicated. Does it make it performant? Are we making it really performant by doing all this stupid shit? We better be. All right, you did it.
Yeah, it does because it's basically if you think about you're the pen, you have to go and you have to draw every point. You have to think about where I'm going to draw this point. And then I'm saying, hey, I want you to rotate everything. So now you have to think every time, I wasn't going to put it there, but now I'm going to put it here. I wasn't going to put it there, now I'm going to put it here. Or you could draw it like you were drawing it and then just rotate the whole piece of paper. And that's what we did. We just rotated the paper. And then you can actually do it multiple times. So it's you're drawing on paper that are shifted at different angles. And so anytime you're doing a transform like that, that's just rotating or moving something like a piece of paper you would on a flat table, it's really fast.
Awesome. I'm so excited. So now we have a sideways California with a red dot for every sensor.
Yes, and we could change the red dot to the color scale if we wanted to real quick, which I think we'll do. So this is the one I talked about earlier, where so I'm going to say CTX fill style equals color PM1 sensor dot PM1. Is it _1? I think so. Yeah. So that gives us
Whoa.
that.
So that makes it seem like the air quality is really good in California, based on the map I'm looking at. I'm no
It
expert
very
or
well may
anything.
be. Not
No,
all
when I look, no, when I look at this map, things look terrible.
inside sensors. Yeah, they don't look good, so I'm not sure if I... It almost looks like it's the opposite of what it should be.
By the way, we're no longer slicing and dicing at this point. I think it's fair to say we are cooking,
That's true.
or
Yeah,
you are
we
cooking.
fired up the we fired up the canvas, and yeah, what's up with all those? Must be nuts. You know what though? I think I know what it is. There are many indoor sensors, and they are on the same scale.
God damn it! Indoor
But you need,
sensors.
so we need to filter that. I remember this now. So there's this type 0 and type 1. If you look at, um, this is something I think it's just good to cover a little bit. You can do like D3 group
Oh right,
on
this
our
is
air sensors.
V6 stuff, huh?
There's some V6 stuff, yeah. And you would do D dot type, I think it's capitalized. And so there's basically this, each of there's 3000
Ooh.
type 0, 1000, and I bet you that these, oops, that was the type 0, type 1, they all have lower numbers, so they're going to be green. Whereas if we were to look at,
Oh, and they say indoor in their names.
yeah, a lot of them will say indoor. These are going to have higher if we map those. So if we filter, when we filter this, we should also just go ahead and say D dot type is 0. Did that still have a bunch of greens?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Oh, that's weird.
There's less dots now, though, so that's positive.
I don't know if is there no date on this? I guess this was just taken. Well, we have a bunch of points. We have a color scale that I've temporarily lost confidence in, unless these are like older data or something. I'm not writing
Yeah, it
down
doesn't
data.
have a date on it, does it?
It didn't seem to, well, oh, I think we can do, if you just do this, there's some metadata. Let's try this. Fields. No.
Okay.
There's no. So, well, anyway, we're still going to slap a voronoi on it if we figure out the color or the values.
Are you sure? Because I want to know why they're green, Ian. I'm pretty.
Can't just gloss over that, huh? Sensor, yeah.
Is it PM1? Is that the right?
Well, let's also do it this
What
way.
are other options? Because those PM1s look like. I guess that makes sense.
I'm going to
like,
say also. I'm going to repeat what we had.
Oh, you can do our filters in a more readable way, rather than.
Well, just as a separate thing that we can mess with. Type 0.
So filter, if it doesn't return true, it takes it out. So you're saying don't return anything without a long or dtype 0.
This is correct.
No, you're saying it has to
Yeah,
have a type 0.
yeah, it should have a type 0.
It has to have a
If any of
latitude, a
these
longitude, and
things,
a type 0.
yeah, if any of these things return false, then it's not going to include that thing.
Got it.
Um, so there's that. And then I would say if I D3 group filtered and I look at PM1, well, this is going to be, say, it's 800 values, but
Make it a Vega chart.
I think there's
Vega
bin as well.
light bar chart. I wish I could fucking edit the same notebook as you. It's not been re-rendering for me. It's making me real upset.
Oh, what is? Yeah, most of them are in the smaller range.
Oh, you binned them?
Yeah.
So the difference between this map and the one you're looking at is that they average them into bigger circles. So maybe that averaging into larger geographic regions is important.
No, I think
Why are they so
they're
goddamn
just
red?
overlaying it. They're overlaying them.
Oh, things are good in the bay.
There are some, so it might be that because we're doing those points, they're not overlapping as much in these dense areas or like the.
You maybe want to sort your points by badness so that red ones are always at the top, right?
Yeah, I like that. So B dot P. I think that will put the big numbers at top. Yeah. Then we're going to use filtered. Didn't really change. Another fun thing to do is like make them really big.
Ooh, that's fun.
That is fun.
That seems right. That seems like basically what we were looking at before.
Well, the one last thing I would do in that is zoom into the bay, right? Like I can do that
Right.
pretty quickly if I get the counties here, county extent, I'm going to copy that code and I'll explain it. But I also need county shapes. JSON.feature. And it actually tells you what you have in there. And I'm going to say county extent. What I do is I look through all the counties and I say, give me why is that so far away? Like,
Yeah, you got a lot going on here.
yeah, maybe like delete the other stuff. So what we're doing is we're going to pass this into the projection here.
So you basically made a Bay Area shape.
It's like a county. It's basically I chose Marin County, which is north, and Alameda, where I'm at. And I could choose another one. We could choose like Santa Clara or something.
You made a bounding box out of counties?
Yeah, just like thinking like, okay, I want whatever's in between.
That's pretty
these
gangster.
counties.
Sick. Yo,
Still,
shout
it
outs
looks
to my
different.
sideways projection. I'm pretty convinced now that it's the way to go.
I'll run with it. I still don't understand why we're seeing different dots, but like really green in San Francisco, it doesn't look that green.
Well, you wanted to give up 5 minutes ago, and now I want to give up. So
Yeah, there might be different things like that. I don't know.
it's 9:56.
Well,
Do you want to take a 4-minute break, and when we come back, do you want to slap a voronoi on it?
yeah, we're really close to doing that. So let's do that.
All right, so we'll be back in 4 minutes at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Was that 7 p.m. for you?
Yeah.
Voronoi time. All right, be back soon.
Nice.
We're back. It's Coding with
All
Fire.
right.
I really had to use the bathroom, but I'm glad that we can. It's time to do what we've been saying we were gonna do. I'm so excited. We have our boundaries of California, which we've lovingly flipped on their side. We have a bunch of dots, which are colored by what we believe to be the air quality. That's a bit of a question mark because they're very green right now, and as we know, California's on fire. But we're sort of glossing over that, and now we're gonna do what I believe to be the best part is to put a voronoi on it. And I've never done this on a canvas map before, so I'm curious how this is going to work exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna use D3 has a voronoi utility. Um, I promise we're gonna do that. I just wanted to show using opacity. So Helen suggested we try changing the opacity. So if I change that to even like, let's say
Oh, I
half
saw
opacity.
in the chat they said, would an alpha channel be better as it looks like the top layer of sensors overwrites the under. So you're going to add some opacity to it.
Yes.
Interesting.
And you can use that to get away with it. I mean, if we also shrink these down again, I wonder if we'll see like zoomed in at this level, they're more sparse. Um, this is where people want to start doing the hex bins or like other, binning things, because
Silly
then you can sort
people, I want to do fun canvas blending modes.
yeah, that's also fun to play with. Do you know any off the top of your head?
I'm scrolling through them and I'm looking for white. I want to do multiply just for now. I mean, as the old standard. It's what's it called? Global composite operation. Again, who made this?
Like that?
Yes, but with only one P.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it got darker where they overlap. So let me make them bigger again.
Yeah,
so
maybe that's not the cool way to. Maybe we got lighten, we got exclusion, we got source atop. The new shape is only drawn or over.
No. What is the one?
Which one?
What's some near multiply, but like
Lighten? Screen?
No, there's like
overlay.
Screen. I think overlay is just
color dodge.
Like, oh, you can't even see this. Like for a lot of these, if we filled the background.
Oh, now we're fucking making maps. I'm gonna drop this blend page in the chat.
Alright.
That's sick, bro.
But I don't know.
Who needs a voronoi when you have a black map with some sweet blending on it?
I don't know. So now, what was some of the other ones we did? It's not, I think multiply makes everything dark.
Try dodge. Color dodge? Sorry.
Yeah, color dodge looked cool, but I don't know how much it was distorting the data, right? Like,
oh, what are we, academics?
Yeah, the color. Screen is another. I like screen.
Screen is looking pretty sick, actually.
All right. Well, we're going for a voronoi. Let's not.
That was a great.
That
was a great nerd snipe.
Yeah, that was fun though. I like this. Just looking at something different. So, voronoi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what everyone does and say D3 voronoi in Google and look at what comes up. And there's going to be, so as deprecation notice, consider using the newer D3 voronoi. Okay, let's
Whatever
do that.
you say, party people.
Because I happen to know that it will end up giving us the same. You have a voronoi here. So where's the example? I might have to search observable. But yeah, so this is what we're going to use though. We're going to use this method, so we may be coming back back to this documentation page. I'll put this in the chat and search for voronoi. Let's see. There's a lot of different choices. I don't really care how those are. This one I remember being a trip. Let's start here.
Cool. And it looks like there's a really cool explanation that Mike Bostock made that sort of explains how it works and what it does, and some really interesting visualizations.
All right, this one looks like it's doing something complicated.
That looks sick.
Is the explanation? It is cool. I'll put it in the chat because it's sweet. But you were saying there seems like one that has a better.
Yeah, I'll drop it in the chat. It's called, how do you say Delaney? Delane?
Delani, yeah, I think.
Delane's duel.
Oops, I opened a different browser. Geo Delani. I don't need that. So this explains how this algorithm works, huh?
It's pretty dope. This Bostock guy seems to know what he's talking about.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Nice.
So my quick read of this is that there's a lot of math going on, but it finds spaces between dots.
Yeah, and it gives us the boundaries of them as well.
It draws a picture of the lack of things. It makes a visualization of where there aren't anything. Sort of. Stop getting nerd sniped. Let's fucking voronoi or map, man.
Yeah, here's a voronoi map, but I think this is what we want. Or,
Ooh. Whoa, this is sick.
do we want all this? Let me put this in. Did we put this in the chat? So there's Geo Voronoi.
This is awesome.
So if we have a different projection, then this would render totally different. All right. Point radius. So let's take a cue from here. So coordinates, points. Where are points? Points parses all these into lat long. Okay. So we just need this. Oh, but that's how they're drawing that. Where's the mesh? Must be the voronoi. Is that?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
D3
exactly.
geovoronoi points. Okay.
That's the magic
So we can
incantation
do this
right there.
All right, let's pull this over. Right, so the world one's what I'm using. I don't need this anymore. This was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Wait, did I put that in the chat? Let me put it in the chat before I forget. Let me just say that. So that's what we play. So we want D3 geovoronoi, and we require D3 up here. And then we need our points. Shit, this is what's. Now it's giving me a 429.
Yeah, I was getting a bunch of. I was gonna mention my whole access to this situation is getting lots of errors. Not only am I not seeing the new cells when you make them, but like I get a bunch of errors when I try and load the notebook and stuff.
So what I often do for a case like this is I would run this and cache it. Um, so if it does ever, yeah, so it ran once for me. So I just download this as JSON,
Right, and just reference that instead for a little
and
while.
then I'll go, yeah, or by default, yeah, have that, or like you could even do something where it checks to see if it, um,
Oh, if you don't get the data back, use the
failed.
backup.
Yeah, use a file attachment, but so I'm gonna drag that in there. I don't know. Um, It'll be like this. And then I guess we could switch these around. Use the file attachment.
So you're just pointing it at our static file instead of the API so that we don't have to deal with these errors anymore.
Exactly. Yes. So where were we? We need points basically, not projections. So we kind of have our points, our error points, but if we said points is error dot, or sorry, let me do this. We have filtered, right? Like filter what we care
Yeah.
about. So let's say points is filtered.map. And then I'm going to return an array where it's d dot I think was what I saw in that other example. So now we just have all those coordinates, and we should be able to get a mesh. These, yeah.
What's a mesh?
Well, take a look. It is a gigantic array of points, I guess.
Cool.
Multi-line string. So I think it's like the grid, the mesh
It's
thing
all
that
the
we'll
lines.
expect to
Yeah.
see, the
That.
lines. Yeah. So yeah. Um, so for example, we should be able to say path mesh now, like something like this. Uh, let's do it here after. Oh, yeah, I like to use CTX. Shoot me.
I like it. Come on now.
But you end up typing so often.
Well, in observable you do, in code you can just command D.
Yeah, stroke recipe.
White.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
bring
Publish.
that down.
So good.
Slap a voronoi on it. Well, of course, I want to do the fill style as well. So oh shit. I don't have the sensor. Can I, how do I want the area as well.
Oh, you want to fill your lines?
Mm-hmm.
Now you might be asking for too much.
Oh, there's a cell mesh. What's
What's the opposite of mesh?
yeah, I'm wondering. There's hull edges, triangles, polygons, voronoi, done. Polygons. I think I want polygons. So cell mesh. Yeah.
Ooh. What's the fun
Let's
circly one?
at this one.
Yeah.
Triangles.
What?
Yeah, we could try all. So let me
Triangles.
tell. So I think yeah, we said triangles equals d3. We should just do voronoi. It's a feature collection. So if we
Hmm.
render that instead,
It's like the galaxy brain hex bins. This looks fucking cool, whatever it is.
yeah, I'm with it. Well, our little like lightning trick. I also wonder if we reduce the size of our pixels. Yeah, now you can't see any. Um, I think that the blend mode is too.
Mm. Some real futuristic looking shit, dude.
Spider webby. Yeah.
I guess if you were like a real data visualization person, you'd want to color the triangle by the measurement, the average of the measurements inside it, or some shit. I don't, or the average of the ones it touches.
Well, what we should, yeah, I think what we want to do also, let's get the polygons. Because I think this is more what we're going for. Because with the triangles are like connecting the different points. We want the voronoi cells. So each one of these cells only has one piece of data in it. So if we color the cells by that data, which, okay, it is just an array of arrays. How does it know what to do? I don't know.
Yeah, how does it know what to do?
Wonder if like, also if you do this for polygon of polygons, and just render each one individually. Polygons is not iterable. Oh, it's a feature collection. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing.
Oh, you just do dot features.
Dot features. Dot features. So yeah, it's a little slower, but it works. And that means for every polygon feature there is, it's got geometry and properties, but nothing that ties it to the original array, I think. Points.
So wait,
I wonder if we
rubber ducky me real quick. What's happening right now?
Well, we're getting back our voronoi diagram and drawing it, right? All the polygons as each one's its own shape.
Totally.
But I can't tell from that polygon what sensor it was, like what color it actually was. Because when I passed in points was like stripped down, right? So I don't know if I add you know, a third thing, what is what are my polygons going to look like? Um, yeah, the site. Oh, the site does have the third thing in the property would be the PM1 value because like I just added it to the
Oh,
array.
really?
Yeah, I guess that
Sick.
works. Properties, sites.
So make that fill style fucking array 2 through the color filter, lighten, get some real futuristic polygonal lo-fi looking apocalypse map.
Yes, sir. So it's going to be polygon.properties.site to is my whoa, what the hell? It's something.
I like what you've done.
I it's
I think
feels
this is
kind of
good.
cool. It's like shattered glass in an anime or something. But it does not at all conform 0, 1, 2. So
Can we make your color scale just like fucking green to yellow to red or something like that?
yeah, but I just want to quickly um,
Yes, Ian? Quickly what?
look at the values it's putting into the color scale. Like this, these are the values it's
Oh,
supposed to
yeah.
be
They're mostly
drawing.
very high.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I don't see what is my color PM1. So I'm not sure. Is it the light? Is it the lighten that's well, there's
Okay.
like some little green ones.
That's weird.
I should, yeah. I should also draw this under these things.
Personally, I put a lot of blame at the foot of your scale. I think if it were continuous, we could debug this easier too, probably. What have you done now?
I don't know, man. Put it first. I don't know.
Oh, because you set the fill style and then you do your big rect.
Big rect is here. Then I do all this.
Oh, okay.
I
All
set the
right,
stroke style
I'm out of
back.
ideas, I guess. Hey, zoom
Wait, why are we?
out. Can you take us back to California instead of the Bay?
Okay, I changed. So somehow this global operation, yeah. Do you want it to be not 90 degrees or?
No, never. I want it to be 90 degrees forever. No, I just want to see California as a whole because I'm curious if it like stretches into the ocean or does some weird shit.
Uh, I do not know what is going on. Let me not fill them in. Okay. What are
This
we
is
looking at?
cool.
Just
I'm into
looks like a white
this.
box. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's. So we're zoomed out to California, but it's supposed to be sideways, I thought.
Yeah, I really felt like it should be
Oh,
sideways as well.
oh, oh. I put this even before the sideways, so it's putting the voronoi at a different
There we
angle.
go. That makes more sense.
Not sure what's up with that white box, but
But should be
you
fine.
know,
One thing at a time.
just thinking about clipping. Yeah, so when I fill them, it's going nuts. Where is it setting the opacity? Here.
I swear to God, Ian, can you do me one solid and make your color scale continuous instead of your weird stops you
Yeah.
have right now?
Oops. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say 0 to 500.
Even 0 to 250. 0 to 200.
All right. And then
I would even, if you just do white to white or black to white for now, right? Because then it glows wherever it's worse. Or...
yeah, or even.
Whoa.
I feel like there's something, our composite thing is just like,
That's weird.
yeah, something's going on.
Can you do screen instead of overlay?
I'll just like turn
Okay.
off the blend modes for a second. So all the dots are being, like some are being drawn as black, some are drawn as white. So I have right now that white is the highest. Just kind of, let me shoot 3 dots. Extents, filtered. So yeah, it goes from 0 to 500.
But like on their scale though, what was it? It was anything more than like... Yeah, anything more than 150 was super red. So like 150 is like livable, right? I guess.
Mm-hmm.
0 is livable. Yellow is livable.
There's also, I think, scale sequential. Do something like this. So if we don't do grays, but we do reds or something. But, okay, I still don't see why I can't do this. Like, it looks cool because like some things are there. It's like shattered.
That's weird.
I'm like setting the fill style.
100 to 300?
I don't think it's a color scale. I think there's like some kind of bug with the way I'm doing this. I don't think I can change that. Because why is it not like it's... Oh, it's writing over the stroke somehow.
Whoa.
So I need the opacity to be like... I don't know what's going on. Yeah, you can see more of it, but like some of these polygons are just like overlapping the crap out of other ones. So I don't know if they need to be clipped or something. I don't understand. So filling them this way is not working for me. Now, I guess that would be an argument for doing this in SVG, is that filling the polygon would be like really straightforward.
Well, so let's add some comments because like what's the order of operations now? Like first you draw your voronoi.
Yes. Oh, comments over in the...
Yeah, like in the canvas drawing.
I liked what we had. Um, Change this opacity.
Whoa.
Yeah. So comments. So we're setting up the path function, rotating the canvas 90 degrees to the left.
It's mostly the drawing stuff I'm curious about because it really matters
Yeah.
like when you do each step, right?
We do each voronoi cell and draw this. So yeah, you begin the path. It's like renders to the canvas, or
It's that polygon,
yeah,
which is
let's
like
do it like
one
this.
triangle basically.
It's more than a triangle. Yeah, it's like whatever
One
that
thing,
is.
one shape, one voronoi cell.
Yeah. Though some of these have weird clippings. This is what I think that is. Um, and I saw a mention about how clipping might be hard in one of these. Uh,
What?
um, all right, so this one, polygon coordinates. It's doing all kinds of crazy stuff
Yeah, what
here.
is going on over
Like, in,
there? Oh,
oh,
it's
maybe that's what I
doing.
have to do.
It's making colors. Context fill, context stroke.
Yeah, maybe these need to be before the stroke.
Okay, all right, all right.
I still feel like it's overwriting stuff. Like there's these really tiny ones are somehow overwriting. Um, if I
Well, another
change it
thing I was
back,
curious about, like, can you make them also make them larger the higher the PM2 number in addition to the color? Because if I'm going back, if the title of our map is like where the smoke is, right? You want to look at California and see where the smoke is, so it should be big and red.
well, big is yeah. The thing with this, it kind of interpolates the space that there's no sensors, so you could sort of it's like trying to visually guess what the that might look like if it was
Right.
rendering properly. This just isn't working properly. Um, so I think there's something about the way I'm doing this. Like if I um, comment this whole thing out and I just render it, I still want this part. Um, polygons. And CTX stroke. So now I'm filling them all with one color, and I think it's not broken. So I'm not sure why I can't do the loop and get those, but so we have polygons, triangles, meshes. I don't know. May not be clipping it right. Well, we slapped a voronoi on it partially. Should I quickly switch to SVG or should we like
We were really getting somewhere with those dark maps where it lit up where the air was bad. That was pretty sick. So half of me wants to do that. The other half of me says that labels and annotations are really useful. So like maybe if you just fucking put a San Francisco and a San Jose label or whatever it is, maybe label some counties, put some county names on some county centroids. Now that I'm speaking out loud, that sounds pretty cool.
Well, we could also like if we just switched out polygons here for uh, add county shapes. I want to fill. It's like a county map.
Ooh.
Oh,
Whoa.
it's drawing counties for things that aren't California, so we need to filter.
What's going on to the right in that map you were just showing?
I think it's Alaska. I think it's Alaska. And I just put it
Oh.
on the map.
Oh my god, because it's Albers?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So where are we at? Where's my county extents? County extent. So there's this d.id thing. So I need to like filter out county shapes.
No, I don't think you have to.
Huh? I only want California counties,
I guess so.
right? Like,
Cali
so
counties.
Cali counties. I just pass in Cali counties. Oh, none of them show up. Oh, I think.
Done. On a clear morning, you can see Alaska. In the Albers USA projection, for sure. Yeah, I was wondering because it's just hanging off the side. I'm like, is that Mexico? What county is that? Disconnected from all other U.S. counties. But I think you're totally right. It's just that's like the whole feature of Albers USA is it moves Alaska over. I guess there's no purple air sensors in Alaska. Kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Oh, what is it? It's supposed to be like a feature collection type features. Okay. So I'm like trying to say geometry features. Nope. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, what are you doing? Everything was going so great when you were showing every county, and I liked it. And you said, no, EJ, I have to only show California counties. And now things, in my opinion, have gone terribly.
I'm trying to, on the fly, create a. There we go. Feature collection. I think I just misspelled.
Right, I'm sorry I doubted you just now. I take it all back. Great.
Now that we have this rendered in a cool way, I also kind of want to see it with the historical data, but with everything.
But we're almost. Here's my last. I just want to take their names and put them in the middle of them, and then make them show this way, and then zoom back into the bay.
So you want to undo the rotation?
No, never. Stop. I never want to undo the rotation.
Okay. So you want to go back to the bay,
and
then you want names.
I want the county names in the centroids of the counties. But I don't think I actually want that. I think I just want to know. I just want like my points of interest. You know what I mean? I want like a little label for San Francisco, a little label for San Jose. Or maybe like a little inset. I'm thinking like a cartographer now, right? Like a little inset map to show where we are or something. Like, and then do your time lapse, right?
Yeah, I think you're getting at like I definitely felt this with some of the other D3 based visualizations I did was that I want the tile map underneath, like even one of those. I love those like Stamen toner maps,
Totally.
right? Because that can orient you really well.
Yeah, you want to see the
Um,
highways. Can you fucking do
so
Stamen maps in Canvas?
I did look up an observable thing. I think we would have to do Mercator, so I'm gonna try um,
Oh, to use the
see if
tiles.
yeah.
I mean, that's alright.
Let's see. Right, like this isn't the end of the world
That's
to see it
fine.
like this.
It's pretty Uggs, though.
Yeah, the counties are like very rough, right? Like they're. I kind of want a higher resolution county file. It's
Yeah.
probably where we're at. The this looks like a spider web now.
That's pretty sick.
That's important. We'll figure that out. Will at one point. Um, okay, so yeah, what are we want a few things. Which ones do we want to go after first?
What if I find. Oh, it's on my other computer. Somewhere in my life, I have a real cool list of U.S. cities and their latitudes and longitudes. What I would want to do is just plug that into this and then just label them. But I can
Okay.
find U.S. cities, latitude, and longitude.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
even if you go to Google Maps and you like search for them one by one, it would uh it would show up as a
I found a Reddit post. Somebody on Reddit asked. Geo names. What the fuck is this? Not this one. Ooh.
um,
Using the free database in production requires that you link back to this. Do you agree? I sure do. Counties should be remade using voronoi boundaries. Such a deep question and proposition that we were talking about how to do this, right? Is if you have counties and you know the population and you recut them, how to geospatially reallocate whatever property is within that county. And then Curran Keller sent me a really high resolution like population grid of the whole world. So if you know a population at a high resolution, when you reallocate spaces, then you can do it at the right ratio because you know where people are and are not in a county. But that's real complicated math stuff. But those are all the ingredients necessary to do that I'm excited about. By the way, we have 15 minutes. We threw a Voronoi on that, so we're in the enjoy mode. Let me go and change it. We're just sort of hanging. You're kind of just doing wheelies.
yeah, you want to draw the labels, but I want to draw it at the end.
All right, so I do file attachments. Should it just show up for you? Well, there's now a file attachment called uscities.csv.
Okay, sweet. I will use that. Let me prove of concepts. This.
And you have to, by order of law, you have to link back to them. I clicked a button that obligates me to this.
Can you see it? It's tiny and faint, but it's there. I'm going to up the alpha, and I have to like rotate the cat.
I can't say that I do see it. I'll be real honest.
Yeah, it's not. Uh, I always forget how to do the font. I think it's like
Font family or some shit?
you set the font.
Canvas font family. Yeah, dot font.
Yeah, now you can see it.
Well, I have one problem with it, Ian.
I understand. I think.
Yeah. Times two or some shit. Yeah, okay.
I think that's. Well,
Okay.
it's gone.
All right. You've done.
Maybe I have to do the whole kit and caboodle.
Ugh.
Um,
I really think we should get you into using P5 because it does a lot of this shit in a way that works for my brain.
yeah,
Yeah,
we could get into that. I think.
I think that might be a
Um,
cool way to hang out.
I'm with that. I would like to get more into P5. You could still do a lot of this stuff, I'm sure.
You just
With
do
it.
this, but you don't have to go through all the stuff where like you're like, how the fuck do radians work? Why is it? It's like made for artists and humans.
Yeah. I don't see. I thought I could. The other thing I thought I could do is rotate around the points. Um, like,
Whoa.
mm, 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 around the point itself. No, I just don't rotate. Still shows up. I do the same thing, but rotate by 90. Okay, it's. Uh,
No, I found it. I found it. It's fucking stupid. It's really
what is
stupid.
it?
I'm pasting it in the chat. It doesn't make any sense because none of this shit makes any fucking sense.
Wait, why? Why is that? Why is that I times 6? What is I?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, it's this is turning into radians, the pi over 180.
Rotate the whole context, then
Oh,
draw on it. The angles and radians. Oh, I see.
I think part of the
Yeah,
thing
you
is
did it. You want to save, translate, rotate, and then fill text, and then restore. Save, translate. Oh, you rotate and then translate, you crazy person.
wait, what?
They translate and then they rotate.
Well, I'm translating it, rotating, and then translating back.
Oh, they don't do any.
Yeah,
They
okay.
just restore. Hey, you did it. Look at you.
So what I did was, oh, I guess you could restore instead of rotating it back. No, I need to move it back because what I'm doing is I'm saying like translate to where the point is, rotate it by 90 degrees, and then which keeps it in place where it's at, and then you move it back so that the piece of paper is back here, and
Okay,
then
I'm
it's
sure. I believe you.
you're rotating around the center. Anyway, if you have more, you said you have more cities. So let me let me pull in your list of cities. Wait, you added a file here?
Yeah, I sure did. It's called uscities.csv.
I do not see it. Let me
It's
refresh.
unused.
Can you publish or something? Because I'm not seeing.
I don't have an option to publish.
How are you not?
Did you pay your observable bill?
I got a coupon. Work related. You're most certainly an editor.
Okay. Well,
And if you refresh, does it like show
It
you
says
anything
not
different?
saved. And
Yeah, it
one
seems like you're
file.
like not, you weren't connected or something.
Alright.
Okay, Hell on Earth was saying that breaking P5 into cells with its draw loop was not easy and observable, and that makes some sense. And P5 is some nice pop and push to save the state of the translate.
Yeah, it's made for humans.
Yeah, Canvas certainly leaves a lot to be desired, and that's great that there's things like P5, which is much more natural.
Alright, so I added the file. It says not saved. What do you think I should do now?
Can you publish or reshare the notebook or something?
None of those are options.
Strange. In your console, is it showing you anything about errors? Because it seems like a kind of thing like where if you weren't logged in, that's how it would look like to you, right? If you like you said,
Yeah.
like if you
But
team
I
member.
can go to I can go to the coding with Fire page, right? And go to settings and then see me, editor. I could leave the team.
No, don't do that.
That's the only option I
Uh,
have.
can you just for now send me the file in chat, and then
Yeah,
I'll make it.
yeah, fine. And then maybe one day observable will work again.
Yeah, this is like direct line to the bug, to
Yeah.
support. Maybe I'll have to get off the call and support it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's great.
Thanks, EJ. More work for me.
Well, all right, I'll clear
All good. All
I'll
good.
clear my cache and then we'll take it to the boss. How long should I clear it for? Forever? That's a lot. I, I, okay. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. Just to make observable work
For
again. It doesn't
everybody.
even, dude. It doesn't even know what websites I go to anymore. Why would I do this?
I don't know, man. You're hit. Die for the stream.
Everything takes so long to load now.
Uh, oh yeah. So this is a CSV file, so we can do. We just do d3.csv parse. I think. Get the text. Auto type it. I think I have to wait. It's a lot of cities, man.
Dude, I'm all about this. That's how you get. It's how you know where you are. You reference the cities.
29,000 cities. All right, I'm just gonna draw. Where do I draw my?
All right, I'm back, and I want observable to work. Nope. Yeah, I still can't do anything.
That is strange. I will really have to.
Not into it. You could classify me as upset.
Almost irate, almost.
Irate.
Oh, I can't type. Whoa.
Whoa. That's perfect, actually. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'll take a screenshot. I feel like.
Now that right there is a map. That's what I call labeling.
Yes, clearly labeled, just labeled everywhere.
Yeah, just that's clearly labeled. That's like designed by listen, just make the fucking label. Oh, there you go. That's pretty dope. That's bordering on useful.
Ordering. What if it looks like there's population. What if we say the population is greater than some number?
Yep, absolutely. And make that number 100,000.
I'm gonna just.
Do you want to bin them and see where they're at?
Yeah.
I think 100,000 though,
But
just
I'm
based on
also-
intuition.
Well, that takes down to 4,000 cities.
What?
How do I
That says
say?
463.
Or
And what are you talking
400,
about?
400.
Jesus.
Let's see.
I was like, what?
Fact check, fact check. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not. No lies told here on Coding with Fire intentionally.
Let's look at these pins.
Time for
So
an emotional support beer. That's right.
nice. Cheers. New Zealand has 4 cities at 100.
Yeah, that sounds about. Yeah, New Zealand's tiny, little tiny bunch of islands.
All right, so if I say that's better, right?
That's great. It's like we're fucking cartographers.
Use the word loosely, but yes, that's
What's
a
up
great
with
idea
the?
to use cities this way. Mhm.
Sorry. Thank you. I'll take that compliment. I was about to talk shit about the font.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I didn't get it right, so it just uses like some awful browser default. So
I'm
let's
putting all the words into Google. Just do CTX font bold something sans serif.
bold. But I did send.
You did sans serif?
Thought
Sans.
so.
Sans.
Oh, I'm missing an S. Uh,
God damn it.
yeah, bold.
I
And
don't
shouldn't
think
this be
that's the
like
order. Bold. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Again, map making. That's just how you do it.
should it be bold though?
No, it shouldn't be bold.
Why is
Or make it like half opacity if you're gonna make it bold like that. Whoa,
also that
yeah,
make things a
fuck
lot
yeah.
better?
Fuck yeah.
I don't know why I had like a light gray.
That rules.
I feel like this is so I messed around and made a script that goes through the versions of um, the notebook, right?
Oh
And
yeah, I
like
saw
takes a
that you tweet
screenshot of
that
every
out.
version. And this would be a perfect. We did like the whole notebook in this one map cell, and we went through all the formula, all the stuff. I think it's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
it's gonna be like how to
Good
make a
animation.
map.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, I like where we're ending up here. We are like very disorientingly rotated.
I love it. That's my innovation.
But you said 70, I mean 90. Like, what if
No,
I
that's
go?
small. See, literally, it's overlapping. Sorry, I'm arguing with the chat. It's overlapping Colorado, which if you drive through it, you're like, nobody fucking lives here. You don't. I mean, there's not. There's like 4 cities in that space in America that that's drawing on. Maybe a little more. Anyway, that's all I have to say. What have you done? What have you done?
I messed with the angle some. I was just messing with you.
Can I ask you this? Can we angle it in the direction the wind is blowing? Because that's what I really want.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I didn't. That was the next. You know, we were talking about doing that. I think it's late at this point, but
Because then it would
and I
always
tried.
be blowing away from the camera, right? Like, and you would sort of
I mean,
see.
if it was blowing back out to the ocean, then you wouldn't see anything, though. But
That's hilarious. No, it's like it's fucking satellite, right? Like it's hovering at a. It's not angled, is it?
no, not in
It's
this
just
way.
rotation. So yeah, if it's blowing out to the ocean, it just means the ocean's at the top. It doesn't mean that you don't see stuff.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, but where would you measure the wind blowing at?
Oh, your
Like
house.
the SF, my house, SFO airport or something?
Yeah, you know, you're the center of the
I
galaxy. All maps should make you the center of the world and reorient from there.
I make it too easy to find me.
Not you personally. I mean, this the royal you. Make it Oakland.
Ah, right, we're in navigator current location or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
However, the SFO thing, because I had some tabs open at one point about this wind data. Like, I think
Oh, you're
SFO has
right.
a weather.
Wind doesn't really blow in a single direction, huh?
Well, like, look at this, right? So it does, over a given at a given time, it will be in that direction at that, but this is like at one point, right? So like wherever you're standing, so if there's weird swirls and stuff, you don't see
Right,
that.
right. Well, I guess you would
Um,
want to find your closest wind direction sensor to
Sensor.
your
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, I wasn't able to quickly find, like, I don't know if somewhere in here that's
No, I changed my mind. I
that is
want
what
the
that is,
largest.
right?
I want the average, the biggest average you can find of wind direction across like the region you're looking at, basically.
Mm-hmm. Put this in the chat one more time. Anyone who joined recently?
Sweet.
Um,
Oh, we're in
yeah.
overtime, by the way.
Yeah, so I think, wind is maybe a goal for another time, right?
This is pretty sick. You made a very dope map. It looks awesome. I'm grateful that it's sideways. Perhaps no one else is, but
We'll see. No one in chat has complained at least. And if we unleash this on the world on Twitter, and
here's where I think it'll be
they're
useful is
holding
that
you responsible as well for
what
not speaking up.
in a time lapse, I think it'll be cool. You know what I mean? Because you see more on your screen of where the smoke's going. That's my theory. Well, and
I
that's
can
all I'm
see
saying.
that. I do. I actually have. So this isn't. We can just chat for a second and
I
wrap
believe,
this
yeah,
up.
we can just chat, yes.
Um, but I have the historical data. Like I've been downloading. I'm just for the hell of it. I'm gonna go to I think air quality. I have these different runs, and basically I run a series of commands,
Are you gonna
and I
make
do this.
the nice? Are you gonna show us the history of our cell?
Oh, that's another great point. Uh, I think it's one of these history. Yeah, we could also mess around and do that. But yeah, I was just gonna quickly just so like this is downloading. Each of these describes one of the sensors, and then for each of those, we need to go and say, hey, give me like a week or 10, however many days worth of your historical readings,
Mm-hmm.
and then we take that and turn it into like one CSV, and
Are you just scraping wild data right now?
yeah, just like
You're just fucking unleash the beast on poor purple air.
I mean, they have an API. It's like
All
you
right,
know,
why'd you put it out there if it's not for the scraping? Also, shout out to Hell on Earth is. Glad. Thanks for hanging out. Definitely come hang out again. Let us
yeah,
know if you have any
definitely.
questions or things you want us to take a look at.
Okay, I got it working with the cluster. Um, that's why there's a two. I'm bad at naming shit. Oh god. Okay, we'll look at that in a second. Because yeah, I think you're right. Like seeing the history of what we did today would be really fun, and then also seeing the history of the air data would be fun in this
Totally.
format, right? So because you
But
do kind of see the smoke clouds whip over it.
I think that was great. You did. We made a pretty dope map, and you put a voronoi on it, and it went. It did, like I said before, it like went 0 to 60. Like once you arranged all the things you needed and like got the ingredients ready, it was just like boom, 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 and then everything came together. So it definitely is like cooking in that way. I think of like if you get all the right pieces in place beforehand, it doesn't actually. It's not that much like effort, quote unquote, to get what you want, right? It's all like in the preparation. So it was cool to see that play out in another different way.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a really good point, and I think it's interesting too how like that it wouldn't be obvious though, right? It's like it's until you've done it and or someone's showing you, like
Totally.
it's not necessarily like it's easy to get not know that you have to prep for a lot of those things that come together at one moment.
Yeah. Well, I've definitely
Yeah,
spent like 30 minutes being like, why is nothing showing up? And it's fucking the latitude longitude thing, you know.
yeah, 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 or yeah, the projections, getting the projection right. Like yeah, even it's one thing I do like doing observable as well is like just how quickly you see those changes. So you're like, oh, okay, you flipped it between Mercator and not. I mean, now that we have it with the city names and we're not bringing in tiles, we could actually just be like, oh, let's bring back. Oh crap!
Oh boy.
I did not like that.
Oh jeez.
Um, no, just continue. Okay.
What the fuck is
So,
continue? What did you just do?
uh, if the projection, if for whatever reason the city, it broke because I think we probably have some cities with
What
some
is
bad.
continue? I've never seen that before in my entire life anywhere. What is that?
It's if you're in a for loop and you're just like, hey, skip, like continue, like keep going, don't do any of the rest of this shit.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean that you may have used break, which is like hold up,
I
stop,
just
we're done.
return in these cases.
You can
Yeah.
also return out of the function, but
I didn't know continue
I,
was an option.
yeah, it's like
Huh.
a little. It's funny because I usually do the arrow like the for each
Right.
looping, but I've been playing with trying. Apparently this is new JavaScript and easier to read or something. So
Okay.
it's for loops. I'll try it out. And if you were doing the for each way, then yeah, returning would be the more sensible thing to do. That's what you would do for sure.
Okay.
So
Sorry, I
these,
got
yeah, for loops are
distracted.
coming
You were
coming
doing
back in
something.
style.
You were making it Albers.
That is what I did. I just changed the projection.
All right.
It's yeah, subtle,
Cool. We like
but I
it.
do think I think it's better this way. Um, yeah. So yeah, I mean we're at time, so I probably won't do on the stream right now unless we like I don't know get a crazy second win. But I think it's good to stop. We can
Yep.
come back
Yep.
and
Thanks everyone for hanging
uh,
out and making an awesome stream. It's always good to. I appreciate your time too, Ian, to show off all the interesting ways you've figured out to do this stuff. I'm come from the SVG world, like all these canvas approaches are very new to me. So it's interesting to see the ways to work through that maze of like the rendering order and all that stuff that you don't have to think through in Canvas or think through in SVG.
well, I wonder if we the thing about it, the reason I like it particularly is that it tends to be faster. Like if you have a lot of things, if once you have past 10,000 things, rendering in SVG could really mess you up. So, oh, it's not going to like that. I think we need to do um, state shapes. I'm going to show the whole country. So the whole
Whoa,
country is 90 degrees, and
great.
we filtered the things. But what I can do is like if we just uncomment the filter, like it draws all these names, but it doesn't hurt my browser performance.
Totally. Plus, you made some
Uh,
cool art.
that's
Damn,
oh no, that
bro.
one.
Little fucking art breakdown. Just to listen. Good night, everybody. We're just gonna throw in some abstract art. It looks like it's the United States names. It looks like a what do you call it when you see a baby or whatever? You know what I mean? Uh, oh, okay. No, that's a lot more recognizable.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I
city
did what you.
names.
That's city names. That's all the city names.
That's crazy.
I did what you didn't want me to do, which was take out the rotation. But
Listen, it's all right.
yeah. But I'm gonna put it right back because I agree with you. And of course, I'm gonna change this back to the filtered cities. That was what the other thing I turned on. But yeah, I mean that's that. All that to say, I like Canvas for performance when I know I'm gonna kind of draw a lot of things probably, and we have a lot of sensors, and I'm having a lot of cities.
Or
Um, let's make
so,
it
do we know?
fast.
Do we know what we're teasing for our next stream? It's on Sunday, right?
Yeah, let's do it Sunday. Yeah, I definitely want to look at Mutari's. He did this crazy three-dimensional visualization of this force-directed
Oh yeah,
deconstruct the algorithm. Looks freaking amazing.
that thing is sick.
I wanted to go over it on the stream. Maybe we should, we're going to talk about this. He's in Europe, so the time's really hard, so we could think about an alternative time as well one time, but we'll see. I mean, anyway,
Special
definitely want to go
European
over that.
edition, Coding with
We might do a
Fire.
European edition. Yeah,
That sounds
yeah.
fun.
I think we could see if we can work
On
that
it,
out
a
next week.
special European appropriate time.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So there's that. Um, and yeah, I don't know. We'll have to think about if folks have ideas for stuff they want to look at um, with us or data sets. Oh, I made the words really faded out.
Totally. So we're doing
We had that suggestion box.
Sundays and Mondays. Come hang out. Thanks to everyone who hangs out in the chat and talks to us and on Twitter and everything. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah. Good night.